talk about the good old days, they are often referring to the 1950s. This post-war period was a prosperous time for America. The advent of suburbs made housing more affordable for a greater number of people. Technology also boomed in the 1950s, with television becoming a household item. Each week, people tuned in to Leave It to Beaver to see the perfect example of an American family. However, the 1950s also had a darker side. Conformity was strongly encouraged, and there was very little freedom of thought. A perfect example of America's conformity in the 1950s is the McCarthy hearings. Senator Joseph McCarthy sought to rid America of communism and its influence. As a result, many people with liberal leanings were blackballed from society. As the hearings came to a close, it was evident that different viewpoints were considered dangerous.
This idea of suppressing different viewpoints has been seen throughout history. The Nazis being a prime example of a group that burned books and suppressed different ideas that did not fit their social agenda. It was during this time that a controversial book named Fahrenheit 451 was written. This book, which takes place in the future, gives us a very different perspective on what a fireman is. When we think of firemen, we often think of heroic figures that save people's lives by putting out fires. However, the fireman's job in Fahrenheit 451 is to start the fires. More specifically, they go around burning all the books they can find to keep the information contained in those books away from the people.
What is the effect on our society when those words which might have caused us to change are no longer available? The suppression of individual thought is rampant in our world today and is especially seen in our public school systems. This censorship is particularly obvious when we look at the books that are available or unavailable for students to read. Often, our schools choose to ban so-called classics, now choosing to restrict these very books, which in the past have inspired great change and movement in our society. Commenting about the society in Fahrenheit 451, Montag says, "Is it because we're so rich and the rest of the world so poor, and we just don't care if they are? I've heard rumors. The world is starving. But we're well fed." If the world around us is censored from our view, then how does this censorship affect the way that we view ourselves, our society, and our world?